Win a Pageant, episode 41. I created this step-by-step process after training thousands of women across the U.S. to win. Now you can have access to these winning strategies when you join me every Wednesday. Let's win a pageant. Hey girl, welcome to another episode of Win a Pageant. I'm your coach, Alycia Darby. In this episode, you're going to learn about the 5 real-life benefits that you gain from simply competing in a pageant. Now, these you get even if you don't win, and they cover all areas. So we're going to learn the benefits in your social life, professional, personal, financial, and health-related benefits. Now, the first is social, and it's probably the most obvious. When you compete in pageants, you really are learning how to experience new people, new settings. You learn proper etiquette. You learn how to have a conversation and how to show gratitude. Pageant women are rarely at a loss for words, and that's simply because they have an understanding of how to communicate with all different types of people, no matter what the setting, in a proper way. When you are finished talking to a woman who's competed in pageants, you usually feel really great about yourself, and that's simply because they've been trained to truly show other people their inner beauty. That's what you'll learn in my pageant program, is you'll really learn, and in just competing in pageants in general, that's how you learn these types of skills, because you're placed in new situations with new people, and you kind of are shown that etiquette along the way. I can always tell who did not compete in a pageant. And recently I was at an event where there were many, many women. And one of the women, it was a like social event, and there was a cake involved. And the host had finally brought out the cake to cut the cake. And there was one woman there who was extremely anxious to try the cake. And believe me, it looked absolutely delicious. To the point where instead of minding her manners and keeping her, wits about herself, she reaches out with her finger, and this is a woman in her 30s, reaches out with her finger, swipes some icing off of the cake, and starts licking it. I was absolutely horrified. You would never, ever, ever see a pageant woman do something like that. Because you're placed in social situations all the time, you would never do this. Oh, I was absolutely horrified. And so my goal for all of my clients is to teach them proper etiquette and teach them how to experience, how to watch others around them. I mean, there are many, many times when you compete in pageants that you're kind of dumped into a situation you've never been in before, and you need to take your social cues from those around you. And those are some of the things that you learn when you compete in pageants. Professionalism. Now, in interviewing, this is really, really helpful because pageant women learn how to interview, and you learn the concepts of the interview. So it's not necessarily just how to do a pageant interview, but I'm truly teaching you all the concepts of interviewing that can be transferable to job interviewing. Also, how to network, which is absolutely vital. Your network is your net worth, they say. Learning paperwork and understanding how to put professional documents together so others are able to read them easier. Work ethic, understanding that hard work really pays off if you're working in the right direction. And then job skills like public speaking, again, all those social skills really roll over into professionalism. So this can go a long, long way. Personal. Now, there are a lot here, like gaining confidence and interacting with people, understanding how to put yourself together, what you should wear to different gatherings, how to put on makeup, how to do your hair in a way that appears lovely. Risk tolerance. So understanding the risk versus benefit and understanding how you can balance those things out to work in your favor. Managing crisis. Overcoming obstacles, which you do regularly in pageantry. Leadership skills. I train my clients to be the leader of her team, whether your team is your directors, your hair and makeup artists, the people who are supporting you on pageant day, the people who are a part of your platform, your sponsors, your partners, all of that. You are their leader. Self-value, knowing what you're able to offer and what it's really worth. That aids in your friendships because you increase your performance. You're able to interact with people who perform at a high level and have amazing friendships. And then the partnerships, what partnerships you're able to create in a way that's beneficial for you and for them. And responsibility, knowing what you are absolutely responsible for. Some of these will just spill out again into every category of your life, but they are really, really vital. And you will see how pageant women project most of these qualities on a regular basis. One of my favorite is that concept of managing crisis. When I was training a woman once, she from backstage texted me that one of her earrings, she had these huge earrings. I mean, they had to have been really, really heavy, and they draped down to about her shoulders, really. And from backstage, one of them broke off. So what she did, which this is an amazing way to overcome an obstacle and manage the crisis through leadership, she just snapped off the bottom of the other earring and then walked right out onto stage. It was an amazing, amazing just performance of absolute confidence, managing her appearance. She wanted to have, not two different earrings. She wanted them to look the same, taking responsibility for her situation, being a leader, and overcoming the obstacle. And whoop-de-doo, she has a little bit of a shorter earring. So what? She managed the situation. And independence is the final one. Now, independence is going to come in very handy for the thing that you are able to really grow as a human being. When I was competing in pageants, I started at around age 18. And admittedly, I was more independent than most people, but I grew into this more and more and more. And my independence is what allowed me through all of these trials. I grew this independence that allowed me to move across the country. I took a cross-country road trip, 3,000 miles from Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, where I knew nobody, not a single soul, and really plant myself in Southern California. Now I've been in Southern California for about over 4 years, and it's been an amazing, amazing adventure. And I truly felt independent throughout that experience. So financial, how can this help your finances? Well, you learn how to enjoy scholarships. Now, scholarship dollars can be used in a variety of different ways. And when you compete in pageants, you typically will win scholarship dollars, which helps dramatically offset expenses. Budgeting. This one is probably one of the most valuable skills that you'll learn in pageants. You don't want to overspend on something and then not have enough money for something else, right? So if you overspend on a pair of shoes, you're not going to have enough money for that extra cocktail dress you need last minute. So budgeting is really, really vital. Fundraising. This is something that will come up every time you compete. Fundraising is really valuable to both the pageant and to you as a contestant, and that's something you'll learn. And sponsorships. How do you gain sponsorships to benefit you and those who are sponsoring you? Knowing your value, knowing what you're able to offer, this will be valuable for how you negotiate your future jobs and how you negotiate your paid appearances. Speaking of negotiations, these are things that you'll likely learn as you compete in pageants, and hopefully you'll have a mentor who teaches you how to negotiate instead of just learning it the hard way, which is how I did it. And it's not as nice. Skills for growth. Learning the skills that you need to truly grow your business, to grow your platform, to grow your fundraising efforts, to just grow the impact that you're looking to have, and using your finances to do it. And then finally, the business skills. Business skills, there are things, many women compete in pageants where they purchase things that they're able to write off because it's part of a nonprofit opportunity. So business skills really, really, really are something that become, of course, extremely valuable in your financial life. Finally, your health. Physical health in terms of your fitness, your nutrition, and daily activity. Mental health, the learning and development that comes alongside with pageantry. And then spiritual health. I call this just the laws of the universe. So when you understand things like you reap what you sow, or ask and you shall receive, thoughts become things, you've probably heard of these in a variety of different contexts, but essentially it's just how the world works, right? So if you imagine interacting with the world through pageantry, which is a very unique industry, but you also get to understand yourself much better, and you learn these areas of health that you can apply to every other area of your life. And that, ladies, is how you win a pageant. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next week. Hey there, I'm Alycia Darby, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching that last video. If you totally loved it and got something from it, would you just click subscribe right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel? Hey, I am here for you, and I've got so many more trainings and videos for you. In fact, this one would be a really great one to watch next. Or if that topic doesn't interest you, then try this one. It's my most recent video training. So I think both of these would be really great for you. Thank you again so much for subscribing. I am honored to be your coach. I'll see you again soon.